It's fun to look at a lot of the different really big, expensive RVs, but stuff like this here is definitely much more practical. This is what a lot of families end up starting camping in. So if you're in that scenario, or maybe you're just looking to downsize as well, great option to look at here. Let's go take a look. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Myles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here at Blue Compass RV today in Tyler, Texas, taking a look at this 2025 Grand Design Transcend Explorer 24 BHX. You'll be able to see the floor plan layout and the specs on the screen. It is right at about 30 feet long. It's actually 29 feet 11 inches, this exact one that we're looking at here. And then along the back, I'm going to look at the sticker on the side here. Exact unloaded vehicle weight rating is only 5,484 pounds. With a cargo carrying capacity of 1,471 pounds and a gross vehicle weight rating of 6,995 pounds. Big reason why this is something that a lot of people would consider. There's a couple things to note real quick. First of all, no slide out at all on this travel trailer. So if you don't want to deal with any slide outs, there is the sacrifice where you're giving up space on the inside of your RV, but there's also the benefit that you get of not having to deal with that mechanical function on the RV that can fail, that can require maintenance, and that, you know, can let in water potentially. There's a lot of things that a slide out can, you know, have that are negative aspects that can go into RV ownership, and not having a slide out sometimes just can eliminate a few extra headaches. It also keeps the weight down. Adding a slide out to an RV adds hundreds of pounds to the weight of the RV, so it really keeps the weight down. Now, when it comes to towing RVs with a half-ton truck, most people are feeling very limited. I've had the experience myself with buying an RV to tow with my Toyota Tundra here, and I've talked to many people online that have also, had the experience of buying an RV towing with a half-ton truck, and it can feel very limiting. My truck here only has a 1,200 pound cargo carrying capacity. That is probably the most important number you need to know on your truck, is the cargo capacity or the payload capacity, whichever way you want to refer to it. That is going to be how much weight you can load inside of the vehicle, in the truck bed, and on the hitch of the truck. So that is directly correlated to the hitch weight on an RV. So the hitch weight of this RV here is under 600 pounds. So that would give me an additional 600 pounds of wiggle room with a 1,200 pound cargo capacity that I have on this truck, which is plenty of weight for occupants in the vehicle. I could even add my generator still and not be overweight with something like this RV here. So I really like this option because it gives you the space for a full family inside, and it is going to not overload the cargo capacity for virtually any half-ton truck out there in the market, making it a great option. And at 30 feet, it's a great amount of space. It is really a nice amount of space inside of here that you're getting at this size and weight range. Two 20-pound propane bottles, 20-pound power tongue jack, and then you have your spot for your batteries here. The one thing I don't really like in this area is they don't really have any boxed off area for your wire connections like some other brands will do. It's just kind of open and exposed. And as we go along this way, you have your storage space through here. This is where you can see it is wood framed throughout here. Really like that they're throwing in the picnic table right there. So that picnic table will come out and you'll have that already installed. Plus, just having the hardware here to store that up out of the way is really nice. As in my travel trailer, I just have to throw my picnic table here on the ground, and it's almost always, just because it makes most sense to store things in there, it's always under things, and I'm always having to pull stuff out to get my picnic table out and then putting the stuff back in. So really like that design there for how that is stored. Aluminum siding on the outside here. You have a LED light strip, and there it is, a kind of like has a diffuser on the light strip, so you can kind of see the little mini LED lights in there, but they're so small that it looks like one continuous light, which is really nice. JBL speaker outside. You have a leash latch here, tandem axle, pretty standard on the wheels and tires. Definitely nothing too crazy right here. It's a pretty small radial tire from Tamarack. It's a 205/75 R15. Fully enclosed underbelly, so all your water tanks and water lines sit above the enclosed underbelly. Does have a 6-gallon gas and electric water heater with a spray port on the campsite, so you have a water connection here on your campsite. You can get the Lipper retractable ladder to be able to get up onto the roof, prepped to add a backup camera as well. And then your spare tire is here along the back, and you can store a sewer hose in the bumper there. and then you have your dump valves right here on this, you know, single spot on the travel trailer. With it only being a 30 amp unit, I have this little 4,500 watt generator here. It's enough power to get the AC on inside of the RV, get the lights on. The only thing that generator is not gonna be able to do is do things like run the AC and things like the microwave at the same time. You do have another gray tank dump valve right here. That's going to be for just your kitchen sink, I believe. And then that's pretty much it. Manual stabilizers here. You can use a drill to drop those down super quick. Very easy, not too difficult. And water connections, this door is locked, unfortunately, but they're inside that bay there. So that is really nice. They're actually inside the camper and you don't have to have them out and exposed. So come back around this way. Let's go ahead and hop inside, see what we're working with here. Got the glass entry door. Again, this is a 24 BHX. It's the Lippert solid step when you walk in, so 3 steps here. It can be a little bit of a higher first step to get in. Has the newer latch system here that will allow you to adjust the leg lengths very easily. You don't have to pull any pins out, so I love that. Does not have a shade already installed in the window, so if you wanted that, which you likely will, that's something you'll have to purchase additionally. Not too terribly expensive though. And you can find a bunch of products that do that on Amazon. Love this here because this is super quick, easy access to stuff that you want from outside. You can see I'm still on the steps here, so if you want to be able to grab things without taking your shoes off, things like utensils, cups, plates, stuff like that, they can all go in this area. Just anything you want quick access to from outside. You could even use this as like a spot to put shoes if you wanted to. So many different functions that you can use that for. And then as we step inside, again, you're compromising some space here by getting the, you know, added function or just a longevity of not having a slide out, but it's still a very practical floor plan, especially for just like a weekend camper. There's so much usable space in here for when you need to be inside, but for the most part, you're going to be spending your time outside. You know, people buy RVs to go places so that they can experience those places, not just so that they can experience their RV all the time. You know, an RV is essentially just a tool to go explore other areas, although sometimes it is fun to just be able to hang out and lounge on the couch in a different state as well. We'll kind of start in the back and then work our way forward. So you have these nice big oversized bunks. These are about 6'2" in length. I want to say they're about 74 or 75 inches long. 75 inches would be right about 6'2". So that sounds about right. Almost fully squared off here, so definitely enough space for like even 2 grown adults to sleep on these. And they do have a little bit more of a firm mattress, so it's not super soft and squishy, because sometimes if mattresses are too soft, you just sink right down into the wood there and it feels like you're laying on a hard surface. So I actually like the firmness of that, and then you could always add like a mattress topper on top of here if you wanted to make it even more comfortable. Privacy shades here, you have a window there with a pull down black pleated shade. Have your USB port and outlet right here, light for this bottom bunk, and then big storage down underneath here. All the shades in this travel trailer look like this there. Going back into the bathroom, you have a plastic foot flush toilet, good storage through this area. The shower has a very wide base right here, but the height in the shower is only good for about maybe 6'3". When I stand in the shower, my head does go up into the skylight there. So I would have to duck a little bit to get underneath that shower head, and I'm standing at 6'1". So just keep that in mind. If you're over 6 feet tall, it's gonna feel a little bit shorter, but if you're under 6 feet, it's gonna be pretty comfortable for you. Nice long shower curtain. It does kind of extend over the edge here. So something to keep in mind, just so you don't have water dripping on the floor. Try to keep the end of that shower curtain in the tub area, so it just all drains into that space. But it's going to be pretty easy to use. The shower head too doesn't spray too like wide, so you don't have to worry too much, especially if you kind of keep it facing more towards the wall. Plastic 2-piece shower here. You do have a vent fan up in this space, which it's the smaller vent fan, but I will say I have this in my travel trailer and it works pretty decent. It's really not that bad. You know, comparing it to the bigger vent fan, I thought it might not be that usable, but it actually does its job and does what it needs to do. Hooks right there to hang some towels. You got your medicine cabinet here in the corner with a mirror on it. And then you have your plastic sink here. This is liquefied. This is in the powder form right here, but they also have it in liquid form and tablet form. You can find this on Amazon. This is a black tank treatment for your RV to make sure that your RV tanks underneath the RV, when you use the toilet, stay smelling fresh, make sure everything decomposes properly and drains out properly. So you can find that on Amazon there. No individual shutoff valves on the water lines. Biggest thing with that, that basically means if you do have a water leak, you are likely going to have to turn off the water to the entire camper to fix that leak, versus some other camper brands that may have individual shutoff valves for water lines, usually in a higher price point than what this is, allowing you to just shut off the water to one water line while you get that leak fixed. But hopefully you don't have any leaks, but they are RVs. If you don't know or you haven't owned an RV before, I think an issue a lot of people make with buying RVs and just kind of their expectations is you're comparing it to something like a vehicle. And when I say vehicle, I should say like a car or a truck, where cars and trucks, relatively, besides just doing your, expected maintenance, don't usually have too many issues. See your storage up here, magnet latches to hold these cabinet doors shut. With RVs, whether it's travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, and whatever price range you spend, it does not matter. They are more like a home, meaning that when you buy a home, if you've ever owned a home before, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, stuff breaks. And there's always things that need to be fixed. I have like 2 irrigation lines in my home right now that are busted that need to be fixed, so I have to dig them up. I have a sprinkler head that's popping up on the other side of my neighbor's fence, so it's not even popping up in my yard. I need to fix that. I have fence posts that are splitting. I mean, there's so many things that need to be fixed. And my home doesn't even go down the road. It stays stationary the whole time. When you take these travel trailers or any RV down the road, they're essentially going through an earthquake the entire time. So stuff is going to break, stuff is going to happen. That's just something that you need to expect and be prepared for. Right here with the sofa, it is a jackknife sofa, but I love the way that this one functions. It's so easy to use. See how it flips over there, makes into a bed space. So if you have more family or friends coming along, you have additional spots where people can sleep, and that's actually a pretty large sofa here. You can have a flip down armrest right there. Then you can see that's where you could put a TV if you want to install a TV. You have your dining table. It does have 2 legs that are holding this table in place, and then those legs can be removed. The table can sit on these posts right here, and this can drop down and make into another bed there if needed. Underneath here, ooh, it looks like we have access storage. A little difficult to get to, but yeah, access to storage underneath the booth dining area. Oh, definitely not the easiest to get to. Granted, I'm having to use one hand here and hold the camera. I'll come back and fix that later. But you do have the storage underneath there. Nice little tabletop space here, outlet there, and then audio controls there for your JBL sound system, and just some shelving here. Ceiling height's pretty decent in this travel trailer as well. I'm standing with my shoes on. I'm probably standing at about 6'2" right now, so ceiling height's probably about 6'4" or so before you'll start feeling like you might have to duck in this space. Single AC in this travel trailer, being a 30 amp unit, not a super noisy air conditioner at all. Right now it's sending the air through the ducting, but you can also open this up to just dump air down into that space. When you do that, it is a little bit noisier. Absolutely love this, considering that in a travel trailer like this, you're likely traveling with more people. Look at the size of this refrigerator. I mean, that is definitely not common for a travel trailer this size. Really nice. I mean, this is a bigger refrigerator than what I have in my travel trailer, so love that. And my travel trailer is about the same size as this. It's not too far off. Pretty good size freezer there as well. And then open this up and you have some pet trays down underneath here, or you can take those out as well. Going down this way, no oven in this travel trailer, so you're getting more storage because of that. I personally don't mind that because I just have never ever used the oven inside of my RV before. I do understand some people might want to make a pizza on or inside the oven or something like that, so you aren't going to have that option in here. But you're only camping for a few days, you know. I think most people can make do without an oven in most instances, and you get that extra storage space by not having the oven. RV size microwave there, a little bit of storage space up here, vent fan to vent out smells while you are cooking. Got your storage back into the corner, storage space through here. This is a little shallow through this area, not super deep. Stainless steel sink here. Should come with a sink cover that goes in this area as well somewhere. If we find it, we'll see. Got a little shelf area there. Storage underneath here. You got some little blockers there to block off some of the water lines. And then you have a spot for your trash can. Hooks right here on the wall. Going back into the bedroom, another weight saving measure here is you do not have any sort of door here going to the bedroom. It's just a privacy curtain. A little thing here too that is nice to show you. Sometimes I do question things that are done, you know, in RVs, as everyone does. You can see here they have this plastic trim piece essentially that goes down this wall here, and for whatever reason, it's like they just didn't quite put enough screws. So there's a screw right there, screw right here, then you go all the way up here to where the next screw is, and it's allowing the space to kind of bow out here a little bit. Very easy fix. It just needs another screw somewhere here in this area to hold that in place. Not hard to fix at all. That is the kind of things you might see or, you know, have happen with a travel trailer or any sort of RV. If that stuff is just going to absolutely bug you and drive you crazy, you might just not be an RV person, honestly, because that's just stuff that's going to happen. If you want to see more of the realities of RVing, I have a segment on my channel here called RVs Are Junk. Every time I take my own personal RV out, I show all the things that go wrong with my RV or that I have to learn or fix or whatever. So every single time I use my RV, for as long as I own an RV, I will have a new video on the RVs Are Junk segment showing things that are happening with my RV so you can kind of see what to expect. The goal of that is not necessarily to say that RVs are junk. It's kind of also to like challenge that a little bit and to see also if a lot of the issues that happen with RVs are due to like ignorance or are due to you know, just improper things being done, or, you know, things that really are just junk potentially and just things to expect. But more than anything, just want to level your expectations when you go into RVing, because I want you to enjoy this experience, have fun with it. And I think a lot of people lose that sense when they have really high expectations that are just not met when they go into something like RVing. Shelved storage through there, got a little shelf here as well. And this looks like this is a residential queen size bed. If it's not exactly residential, it's pretty dang close. Outlets and USB ports there. Got your shelf up above here. Good amount of space to walk around. No heat vents in the flooring. You can see the heat vent right down there in the sidewall, so no heat vents in the floor anywhere. Spot for a TV on the wall right there. And then when I lay down on the bed, I mean, you can see here, my feet don't hang off the edge, so that makes me think we're right at about a residential queen size bed here. And then you have nice flush lights here in the ceiling so they don't like stick down or anything like that. Your AC is ducted back into this area, but also not having the door is going to help with, you know, just getting more air back here as well. Pretty strong struts holding that up to get to your storage underneath the bed. And then let's see if the storage is the same over here. If you got a, okay, yeah, you have a clothing rod on this side and shelves on the other side. So pretty nice there. Curious what you think about it not having a door. Again, I think that's more than anything just a weight saving measure. And I imagine most people camping in something like this are probably camping with small children and things like that, I would imagine. So, you know, hopefully you can just feel comfortable enough to go around the corner there to change or anything like that, and you have the curtain there. But that is pretty much everything in here, y'all. Curious what you think, and curious if you could see yourself camping and traveling around in something like this. Last thing before I go, one, if you're looking for your next RV, there's a link down below in the comments and description to help you find a dealership close to you, as Blue Compass RV has over 100 different stores in 33 different states. I also have another YouTube channel that's linked down there called Firmly Unbound. Firmly Unbound is essentially like a lifestyle that has given me a life far beyond what I could possibly deserve. And if you're feeling curious, you can go over to that channel there and see more about what I'm talking about. Plus, I have all of my own personal travel videos there that I have done with Megan. And as we take our RV around, we have a lot of fun, and you can see that there as well. And hopefully we can inspire you to go out and enjoy and just live a life to the fullest. That's all I got for y'all. The last thing, real quick before we go, I did want to note, the bottom of these drawers here, I just kind of thought about this while I was talking. I mean, they do sag a little bit. They're not super sturdy. That is something just to be mindful of. I don't want you to load too much weight into these and have like the bottom break out. But another thing that could be done, if you could mount like a thin wood board right here for more support. That's what they did in my travel trailer on all the drawers, and it really actually helps quite a bit. Obviously this manufacturer doesn't do that, but I just want you to be mindful of not overloading the weight in here, because if you do, it can potentially pull out from the bottom there. And that is something you need to be aware of in the less expensive RVs, and even some of the higher end RVs too. Some of the stuff in the, you know, 40, 50, 60, $70,000 price range travel trailers can sometimes have that as well. And I just want to make sure you're aware of that so you don't get hit with anything that you don't know could potentially happen. But that's all I got for y'all. Appreciate y'all watching, and until next time, live firmly unbound.